All right, everyone get ready, because today we are diving deep into Yu-Gi-Oh! GX,
Yeah.
specifically into this character, Yubel.
Ooh, interesting.
You guys wanted us to figure out, like, what's the deal with her gender
Yeah.
and unpack her relationship with Jaden.
Oh, that's complicated.
It's going to be good. We've got some awesome videos from this YouTube channel, Melon Tea, to help us break it all down.
Awesome. Melon tea is great.
So this is kind of like putting together a puzzle, right? We've got all these pieces like the original Japanese version of the show,
Right.
and then how they changed things for the English dub,
Uh-huh.
and then we've got all the stuff that fans have been saying about it over the years.
Yeah, that always adds an interesting layer to it.
Totally. It really shows you how the meaning of a character can change depending on who's watching.
Exactly. And you know what's really fascinating about Yubel? Even though she's mostly referred to as female, like even in the Crunchyroll subtitles for the Japanese version,
Okay.
there's a good argument that she might actually be androgynous,
Really?
especially in the Japanese version.
I guess I never really thought about it that way.
Yeah, it's pretty subtle, but then you've got the English dub where they make it super clear that she's female.
Right.
And Melon T kind of suggests that this might be because they weren't comfortable with an androgynous character being in love with the main character.
Oh, wow. That's a really interesting point.
Yeah, it makes you think about all the cultural stuff that affects how stories get translated and changed for different audiences.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So even though there's all this debate about Yubel's gender,
Mm-hmm.
everyone agrees that her story is super intense.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we go from this sweet little card spirit
Mm-hmm.
who's just trying to protect Jaden
Right.
to this, like, vengeful demonic being who's out to do some really dark stuff.
You know, I love that Melon 2 quote where they say,
Yeah.
everything Yubel did for Jaden was absolutely out of love. And that's what makes her character so terrifying, but also kind of tragic.
Yes, she really believes she loves Jaden and that he loves her back,
Mm-hmm.
but the way she shows it is so messed up.
Totally. Like, she'll literally hurt anyone who upsets him, even a little bit.
It makes you wonder about the nature of love, right? How something that's supposed to be good can become so destructive.
Absolutely. That's one of the big themes that GX explores.
Oh, for sure.
Like unhealthy attachments and how love can be used to justify controlling or even abusive behavior.
It's heavy stuff,
Yeah.
but so true.
Yeah.
And then things get even darker when we learn about Yubel's backstory.
Oh, yeah. Her past is really messed up.
Like she was sent into space.
Right. And then corrupted by this force called the Light of Destruction.
It's no wonder she's so messed up.
And then she comes crashing back to Earth, all disfigured and vengeful.
Okay, so that explains a lot.
Yes, right? Like, you can understand why she's so angry and heartbroken,
Totally.
even if her methods are a bit extreme.
Just a bit.
And then we get that huge reveal about Jaden's past life as the Supreme King.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And Yubel was his protector back then, too.
It's like a whole other level of epicness.
It is. It adds so much depth to their connection.
Right.
Although Melon T thinks the writers kind of rushed it.
Really?
Yeah, they said they should show more flashbacks of Jaden and Yubel in their past lives
I see.
to make that plot twist hit even harder.
Yeah, that makes sense. What do you think? Did it feel too rushed to you?
You know what? I was so into it at the time that I didn't even notice.
Uh-huh. I get that.
But I guess it would have been cool to see more of their past together.
For sure. But no matter what, that reveal changes everything.
Oh, yeah.
We finally understand why Yubel's so obsessed with Jaden and why she thinks it's okay to control his life.
It's almost like she thinks he belongs to her.
Right.
Yeah.
Like he owes her something because of what she did for him in their past life.
And that possessiveness is what makes her so dangerous.
To Jaden and everyone around him.
Definitely. But, you know, Jaden's not just sitting there taking it.
That's true. He makes a pretty big decision to fuse with Yubel.
Oh, yeah. That's where things get really crazy.
Buckle up. Yeah, that fusion, it's like a huge turning point in GX.
It is.
Fans are still arguing about it.
Oh, yeah, I can see why. On the one hand, it seems like Jaden's doing it out of love, right? Like he wants to save her from that light of destruction and finally understand her.
Yeah. And he even says something like, fusing with Yubel is his most mature decision.
Right. But then you wonder, is it really about love or is it more about guilt?
Ooh, that's a good point.
Maybe even a little selfish, you know? Like he wants to keep her close no matter what. That's what I love about GX. It doesn't give you easy answers.
Uh-huh.
It makes you think about the character's motivations, like what's really driving them.
Yeah, for sure.
So is Jaden being selfless? Is he enabling Yubel? Or is it a mix of both?
It's tough to say.
And then you've got Johann, who adds a whole other layer to things.
Oh, yeah, Johann.
He's so important for understanding how Jaden develops as a character.
Right.
Johann's like the opposite of Yubel.
Totally.
He's got this healthy, supportive kind of love for Jaden.
It's true. Their relationship is built on respect and trust, and they both want to, like, bridge the gap between humans and dual spirits.
Exactly. Like, remember that Melon-T quote? Johann is literally Jaden's stability.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
And the show makes it so obvious.
It does.
Which makes it even more heartbreaking when Johann disappears.
Oh, man, that was rough.
It completely breaks Jaden.
Yeah.
And that's when that Supreme King persona starts to come out.
Right.
He goes on this crazy, obsessive quest to find Johann.
It's like he loses himself.
He does. He shuts down emotionally. He pushes away his friends.
Oh, so sad.
Melon-T says it perfectly reversed. Jaden literally broke because of Johann's presumed death.
Wow, yeah, that's a powerful way to put it.
GX is so good at that. Taking these fantastical elements like card games and dual spirits.
Yeah.
And using them to explore these really deep human emotions.
Like grief and loss and trauma.
Exactly. It's heavy stuff.
And then you've got Yubel manipulating Jaden's grief.
Oh, yeah. She uses to her advantage.
Trying to isolate him and make him even more dependent on her.
It's messed up.
And then there's that line, "Do you love Johann more than me?"
Ooh.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Chills.
What do you think she meant by that?
It's so hard to say. Is she being genuine? Is she trying to manipulate Jaden?
Or is it just a reflection of her own possessiveness?
Yeah, that's a good question. It really makes you think about her motives.
For sure. Like how much of her love for Jaden is real and how much is just this need for control.
That's a question that hangs over the whole series.
Even after the fusion.
Right, and then in season 4, Jaden comes back, but he's different.
Yeah, he's definitely changed.
He's darker, more reserved.
Almost like a completely different person.
You have to wonder, did fusing with Yubel help him grow, or did it damage him?
That's the big question, right?
Maybe his detachment is a way of coping with all the trauma.
Could be.
Or maybe it's a sign of maturity.
Like he's finally realizing he can't save everyone.
Yeah, and that sometimes he needs to focus on his own path.
It's all about growth.
Melon-T talks about how GX is a coming-of-age story disguised as a fantasy adventure.
Oh, that's so true.
Jaden goes through so much joy, love loss, heart-up trauma.
He comes out of it changed for sure.
It makes you think about your own experiences with growing up.
For sure. And you know, it's not just about Yubel and Jaden.
Right.
There are all these other amazing characters in GX.
Like Chaz.
Oh yeah, Chaz. He's the best.
He starts out as this arrogant rival,
Totally.
but he goes through this incredible transformation.
GX is so good at balancing the humor and the drama.
It really is.
Yeah.
Chaz provides so many laughs.
He does.
But his journey also shows us that it's okay to let go of our ego and grow as a person.
And then there's Zane.
Oh, Zane. His story is intense.
To say the least.
It's a wild ride of ambition, disillusionment, and, well, some pretty intense desires.
Let's just say his fascination with pain and those shock collars is a lot to process.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the darker parts of GX.
But it keeps things interesting.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
GX is never predictable.
Yeah.
Zane's story is dark, but it also shows that anyone can change.
Exactly. Even when you're down in the dumps, you can still find a way out.
Yeah, and GX is full of characters like that.
Like Aster Phoenix.
Oh, yeah, Ito Phoenix in the Japanese.
Right.
He's so cool.
He seems so confident at first, but he's actually carrying a lot of pain.
Yeah, losing his dad like that.
It messed him up for sure.
You can tell how desperate he is to find that Destiny Hero Doom Lord card.
Oh, totally. He thinks it's the key to avenging his father.
Remember his catchphrase.
Where is the D? I need the D.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It's so funny.
But it also shows how obsessed he is with getting revenge.
Yeah, and then he's got that fortune teller always telling him what to do.
It's weird, right? Like he's trying to control his destiny.
But he's also letting someone else make all his decisions.
I wonder if he even believes in free will.
Good question. And then we find out that the guy who killed his dad is the same guy who raised him.
Whoa!
I know, right? Talk about a plot twist.
That's heavy stuff.
It makes Ito rethink everything.
He realizes that revenge isn't the answer.
And that sometimes you just have to forgive and move on.
That's when he starts to grow as a person.
He becomes less arrogant and more compassionate.
Yeah, he finally learns to let go of the past.
GX has a lot of dark moments.
It does.
But it also shows the power of human connection.
Definitely. Like Jaden and Alexis.
Asuka in the Japanese.
Right.
Their relationship is so interesting.
There's so much respect for each other.
Yeah, but we never really know if they're just friends or something more.
It's like a will they, won't they thing.
Yeah, it keeps you guessing.
No matter what, though, Alexis is really important for Jaden.
Oh, yeah, she helps him grow a lot.
She challenges him, calls him out on his BS.
And she encourages him to be more responsible.
She's a good influence on him.
Plus, their duels are awesome.
They're so different as duelists.
It's like fire versus water.
But they both push each other to be better.
In the end, it doesn't even matter if they end up together romantically.
Right. What matters is the bond they share.
Exactly. And I think that's what makes Yu-Gi-Oh! GX so special.
It's more than just a card game anime.
It's about life.
Yeah.
It's about growing up. It's about the people we meet along the way.
Mel and T says it perfectly.
Yeah.
GX doesn't shy away from the dark stuff, but it also gives us hope.
It reminds us that we can overcome anything.
And that even in the darkest times, we can find our way back to the light.
That's a beautiful message.
It is. So whether you're a diehard fan or just discovering GX for the first time, we hope you've enjoyed this deep dive.
We've talked about Yubel's love, the importance of Johann Chaz's transformation, Zane's struggles, Aster's quest for revenge.
All that good stuff.
But most importantly, we've seen the power of connection
The strength we find in each other.
and the hope that never dies.
Keep dueling, keep exploring, and keep the spirit of friendship alive.
See you next time.